here, WinDailySports.com. My name is Jon Jansen. Follow me at JJS34. I don't even know why I say my name like I'm on radio, like you can't see the fact that we have the names literally right up here. Just follow me, JJS34, Stoweby at STOWEBY. It's right there. But we are live breaking down some Thursday night showdown, and we got a nice little offer for you, a free trial of Win Daily Sports. Free trial. The link for that is in the description below on our YouTube channel. So go to the description, go see that link, click on it, and you can see all of the free trial options for you here at Win Daily Sports. Also, this is all sponsored by the Sharp app, sharp.link, and then you can go and see all of the ways that you can download the Sharp app. But Stoweby, welcome back. We got some Thursday night football and a damn good Thursday night game.
This is nice. We don't usually get ones like this on Thursdays.
This is nice. You said that like you walked into somebody's house for the first time. You're like, wow, this is nice. Look at this living room. Wow, this is nice.
I love your foyer.
What is that? What do you guys do down there in North Carolina? What is a foyer? Or am I just not old enough for that?
I don't think you're old enough for that. Okay. I think that's a term my parents use. I've never used it before in my life, but I've heard them say it a bunch. Oh, it's in the foyer. I'm like,
the what?
Like,
I
what?
I don't know what that is.
I don't. I to be honest with you, I grew up with it. And
so how about we stop foyering around and we get to some Thursday night showdown?
Let's do it.
A little bit of shout out to the Hokies, baby. Real quick, did they beat Notre Dame? Yes, no, real quick.
Probably not.
Okay. Showdown.
I'm realistic.
Yeah, that's great. I love being realistic. It's always a good trait in a human being. But Stoweby, look at this. Showdown. And I'm basically going to zoom in as far as I can. There's a name. There's a guy. Yeah. There's a guy at the top there. And I gotta ask about him.
That's Styx's father.
I know, poor Styx. He really stuck his neck out for that one.
Oh, I know. I got to give him a hard time. He's taking it in stride.
Yeah, he really is. So Cooper Kupp, he is the top guy on this list over two quarterbacks. He is 18.6K for the captain spot. And the thing is, I bring it up because this is absolutely a matchup in which they're going to get yards and they're going to put up points because the Seattle defense is bad. San Francisco's offense with Trey Lance put up a ton of yards on them, but just didn't score. I mean,
yeah.
Are we putting in Cooper Kupp and we're just throwing him in every single one?
Not are you talking about in a captain
Showdown
spot or just in general?
Not captain spot. Obviously, you're not gonna go all in for somebody captain spot. But like, if you're making a lineup without Cooper Kupp, are you doing it wrong?
No. I think you're gonna have to do it with a couple of them, just because there's a chance it's a Robert Woods night at any point. I mean, I'm still banking on that happening, so I'm gonna have to have some where I don't have Kupp in it, but it's not.
But look at these targets.
Oh yeah. I'm talking 8 out of 10 lineups having them. Yeah. I'm not talking about fading them in.
I like a good old 80%
in half up. Yeah, I mean on Showdown, 70 to 80% roster between captain and flex spot is probably what I'm looking at with somebody like Kupp, because I mean it's a 54 total game and Kupp has been the number one target, but there are going to be a couple of them where I take him out and I mix in guys like Wood and guys like Higbee and go ahead and just bank on them getting the lion's share of those targets in the event that Seattle, brackets him or tries to do something to at least slow him down. I'm not saying it's going to be successful. Right. Seattle's secondary is terrible, but I will be running a couple of them in there, but don't go overkill on it because he's likely going to have a good night.
Yeah, it's so safe, right? Because even if he only had 11 DK, 11.4 DK points, mm-hmm. But it's just the fact that, again, like the 13 targets are there. He has double-digit targets in every single one of his games, and it's likely going to be the same again, but it's also not very likely that he's only going to get 5 of those receptions on double-digit targets. But as we just got here from our guy Swerve, it could be a Robert Woods breakout game. So obviously, like I bring up the Cooper Cup thing because it's just so safe, but I still think you can get a good Cooper Cup game and a breakout Robert Woods game. Like
Yes.
those can be two in the same. We've seen it before. We're going to see it again. And it seems like that this one is now. Why is this a breakout game for Cup? Is this just circumstance? Like, okay, he's only, he can be targeted a lot in this game. And obviously with the matchup with Arizona's secondary, that they should be able to get Woods involved.
Well, the situation with Woods is it sounds like the coaching staff is noticing that they aren't getting him used in the game a lot, and they've been talking about it this week about making sure they make a concerted effort to get him into the game plan. And he's actually second on the team in targets within the red zone. So it's not like he's not being utilized. It's just it just hasn't turned into huge production yet.
Yeah.
So I think the combination of that secondary, the matchup, the high total, the pace that we should have back and forth between these two teams, and the fact that the coaching staff is talking about getting him more involved. And I think, Stafford heard that. I think he wants to make sure he keeps his guys happy. He's finally in a good situation. And
yes, he is.
I think he's going to go, he's going to scheme Woods into the game or look for him a little bit more in his reads and try to get him in there.
Now, is there anybody else for the Rams? I mean, I guess obviously Showdown. We got to be a little different somewhere. Is that Van Jefferson? Is it Deshaun Jackson? We have seen these guys at times have big games. Van Jefferson's the one who's sort of getting, like, as you see here, he's getting consistent targets, and it just, is he going to have the game like he did, against Arizona, or is he going to break free for a couple of big ones like he did, at least the one against Chicago? How do you take a look at some of the other ancillary players outside of Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods?
Well, my other preferences this week, I mean, Deshaun, he's going to get his 30% snap share and get a couple of targets, but I mean, it's going to be all or
You're
nothing.
just praying they hit on one or two.
Yeah,
balls.
yeah. I like the floor a little bit better, and Van Jefferson has been shown to have some upside this year that he hasn't had before. So I would prefer Van Jefferson over Deshaun, and Higbee hasn't played any less than 75% of the snaps the entire season, and I think he's going to get utilized a little bit more. He might get some red zone looks tonight too. I'm not exactly sure how much further down I would want to necessarily go on the Rams side, because I mean they're pretty concentrated. I mean, you got Darrell Henderson should
no
be
injury
good.
No injury designation coming into this game, so he's good. We'll talk about this guy, bring him up for a reason, but Darrell Henderson should be good. No injury designation, he is the guy. So you're right. I mean, you don't want to go too deep down. I would even say outside of Van Jefferson, because this is all going to be, Kupp, Woods, and Darrell Henderson for the most part. And going on the Seattle side, why I bring up the Rams side, because I think that's the offense that I want to get here. I know for sure this defense for Seattle is not very good, and I think the Rams are certainly in line to put up points. It's just how you're going to kind of divvy that out. I think if you're banking on the Robert Woods game, are you okay with having Woods in your captain spot?
I am going to have a few of them with Woods in my captain spot. I like the idea of pivoting to that, because he has the same potential to have these enormous games like a guy like Kupp does. And while we haven't really seen it, if he gets that target share, he still has that big playability, and there's nothing wrong with him. It's just that it hasn't turned into anything yet. So I do like the idea of running Woods in some captain lineups if you're not going to run, Kupp or either of the quarterbacks.
So this guy right here, Christopher, I don't even think it's Christopher, it's just Chris Carson, questionable. Last we heard 50-50, and I haven't heard anything since. So let's go with both, and both scenarios of if he plays, if he doesn't. We'll start with the if he does. If Chris Carson does play, does that make the Chris Carson the play, or to me it makes that running back backfield in Seattle so almost unplayable? Like because it's just going to be guessing. If Chris Carson's going to play and how much he's going to play, and if Alex Collins is going to get it, if they're just going to share the snaps, if Chris Carson's going to get 100%, it would be a lot to figure out if that was the case.
Yeah, that like if Chris Carson's out, Alex Collins is a good play. If Carson decides to suit up, if I'm going to go with any running back, it's actually going to be neither one of those two guys. As if I'm kind of anticipating the Rams to get out ahead a little bit and Seattle to play catch up throughout this game. And in those scenarios, you got Travis Homer at $1,000 all the way at the bottom as like my dumpster dive to get some salary relief. He'll get utilized in that passing game. Now he's not going to get you a ton, but if you got a guy that's 1,000 that might get you 5, 6, 7, 8 points at next to nothing in cost and allow you to fit some more of those studs in. I like the idea of trying that.
Yeah, because it's look, and you bring it up and you say it like, hey guys, he only has like a few targets and it's not a lot. But again, we're dealing with a guy that's injured. And if Chris Carson's out, it's not Alex Collins 100% all the time. It's going to be somebody else. And DJ Dallas is also in play, and he's probably going to get some carries. But as you're seeing here, it was really game one, and that's it. We've seen at DJ Dallas.
Yeah.
So he probably will get a snap or two,
maybe
or 3.
And
but the guy that you're absolutely right. It's Travis Homer.
Yeah. And I like that. And I think, honestly, I half like that more if Carson is in, because I don't think they're going to give him. I don't think they're going to go crazy if they decide to play him. They're going to spell him, and Carson and what's his? I'm sitting there brain farting. Collins are going to be hurting each other's target share or snap share, and then Homer's going to come in and get the passing down and work. And I think his workload is going to be roughly the same no matter what. Especially in the passing down work. Like if Seattle ends up throwing and getting out there and they need that to kind of catch up, that's what I like. And he may catch a little swing pass somewhere and sneak one in, and he'll break your slate for you. And he's probably going to be next to nothing in terms of ownership goes.
So I do want to bring up the wide receivers in Seattle here for the Thursday night showdown. That's what we're breaking down right now here at WinDailySports.com, all sponsored by the Sharp app. Go to sharp.link and you can get all the ways that you can download the Sharp app, whether it's a Google Play or the App Store. And also we have a nice 1 week free trial, free 1 week trial. Probably should get that right. But 1 free week trial here at Win Daily Sports. And all you got to do, go to the YouTube channel. The description below has the link for you, and you can choose your whatever option for a 1 week trial here at Win Daily Sports, which is great because you get everything a gold member does. You get the projection models, you get the cheat sheets, all of that for NFL. So try us out for a week. And if you don't like, you can go, but try us out for a week. And hey, if you have a good NFL Sunday, stick with us for the rest of the season. But you get that decision 1 week trial here at Win Daily Sports. Again, link for that is in the description below. But got to bring up the wide receivers for Seattle. DK Metcalf is the higher priced one. It's about $600 more on DraftKings. But, it's the same thing as always. It goes a little bit back and forth. First 2 games, it was Tyler Lockett with 200-yard games. And then lately it's been DK Metcalf that's been doing well. Look, DK Metcalf has been getting the past 3 games consistent targets. He has 3 touchdowns in 4 games. But I think where everybody's pivoting a little bit is because he's likely going to get possibly, maybe, the Jalen Ramsay matchup.
Now, I'm actually glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Ramsey has not been shadowing this year.
Usually doesn't.
Yeah. So he's been playing a bit more out of the slot. He's actually been blitzing out of the slot corner position a lot.
Love it.
Yeah. So
I actually think that's great. The blitzing out of the slot.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy the way they're doing that. It's interesting. I mean, he's a complete ball player, so I don't see any sort of shadow treatment going on. So I think you're fine, whichever your preference is as far as your wide receivers go. My lean is going to be probably on to Lockett a little bit because everybody is aware of that hip injury that he's been dealing with, but there's no designation now. They just pulled that designation. So It looks like he's going to be okay. And I think folks are going to want to play. They're probably going to want to play a little bit more Metcalf today just because of the last couple of weeks and the recency bias of it. And I think we can go ahead and get ourselves another Tyler Lockett kind of crazy ceiling game again tonight. So I'm probably going to lean on that a little bit.
Yeah, the last 2 games, 9 targets total in those and only 5 yards in 2 games. But obviously, you see the potential in the first 2 weeks of the season. It is there for Tyler Lockett. I'm with you. I'd rather just take Tyler Lockett in this one because I think this is going to be the game, that I think everybody's going to be on DK. It's sort of the same thing. After the first 2 weeks with Tyler Lockett, I went, all right, well, now I want DK Metcalf. And now after the 2 games with DK Metcalf getting all the targets, like, okay, well, now I want Tyler Lockett. It's just trying to play that back and forth game. DK Metcalf could have a huge game, and I'm sure that in the spotlight he's going to do great, but I think I'd rather get Tyler Lockett. Now, we talked a lot about the passing game for the Rams and, of course, the passing game for Seattle for good reason, and especially for the Rams. But Darrell Henderson, he was injured, no injury designation. How are you feeling about him coming into this game?
I feel really good about him this week. I think he's going to do. I think he could do fantastic today. I mean, Seattle's not stopping anybody this season on the ground, or through the air for that matter. But I thought Henderson was going to kind of get eased back into the workload after he got injured, but he picked up right into it. He's full go, and Michelle's kind of in the doghouse, so I think it's going to be all Henderson.
Yeah, it is. I think it definitely will be all Henderson. So we do have a lineup right here that I like. Kupp, Higbee, Homer, Van Jefferson, Stafford Woods. Look, I'm not opposed to like a huge Ram stack. And that's a lot of Rams players. And so it's really, really tough to do that. I mean, that's a lot of Rams players. It's a lot of Rams players. But, if you're thinking that the Rams could get 34, 37 points, which is absolutely possible. This could, I would probably try and get some kind of Seattle, player in there somewhere, whether it's for Higbee or Van Jefferson. I don't know if you'll be able to find that. But what do you think of just that lineup and really going all in on one offense? We did this sort of with the Chargers a little bit on Monday night that, we knew that was the better offense and they were going to get all these points against a worse Raiders defense. The Chargers defense was actually good. It's sort of the same thing here that we are really trying to attack one defense because, well, that one other defense in the Rams is actually pretty good.
Yeah. I think if you're going to run, if you're going to run like a 5-1 in this game, I'm okay with it because historically, Russ is decent, but he hasn't had ceiling games against the Rams. I don't think he's never passed for more than like 280 yards in any contest against the Rams. The one thing that he does do is his rushing upside kind of doubles. Actually, if you can get that line right now, I think it's like 26.5 rushing yards. Go ahead and take the over on that now because he averages like 45 to 50 yards rushing per game against the Rams. So just FYI for those that are doing a little bit of sports betting today. So you could even run something like a naked Russ and load up on your Rams if you wanted to, because that extra work on the ground, he might run one in, and if he gets you 260 yards passing, a touchdown or two, and then he gets you 40 to 50 yards rushing and another touchdown, you could reasonably decide to run him naked like that, or him with somebody like Homer, or just something, or to get a cheap piece and then load up on your Rams if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different ways that you can go ahead and take this.
It's interesting. Yeah, I am trying to actually, work that out in a way that would be like fairly interesting to do. Will Dissly in the captain spot, obviously that's not going to do it. So I just kind of looking at it there. It is interesting with the things you can do if you do kind of focus on the Rams and how you can, maybe just shuffle that offense around. And maybe that is one where you shuffle it around. I hate to take out Cooper Kupp, but like shuffle it around and put in a Van Jefferson, and like it does make things really interesting if you can.
And then you can get Henderson at your captain spot.
Yeah, boom. There you go.
Yep.
Like something like this. Obviously, it could be a huge Cooper Kupp game, but I'm just saying, like, you can mix and match a little bit. If you can try and find those pieces to work, yeah, you could do a little bit of a big Rams stack. That's the offense that you should be trying to target the most. You should be trying to get more Rams players in this game because they are just going up against the much better matchup. And I think, honestly, they're going to bounce back, I think, pretty well from that last game. If you were to go the other way, is it worth going into, I guess you can do you can do mini stack, but you can do Wilson. Obviously, you pick between Metcalf and Lockett. I would go Lockett, and then after that, we would have to know what the status of Chris Carson is. But if he's out, Alex Collins is a must play. I think so. It'll be it's really interesting.
Yeah, and the Rams have been a little bit susceptible on the ground this season, so you could even be so crazy as to maybe in one of your builds slide him up into the captain spot and see what happens there, and he might have a huge game because he's been known for, when he's healthy, having these huge just breakout runs. Huge, either that or getting hurt. That's one of the two things.
No, we don't want that. Will Dissly. Real Dissly, real quick, because I keep gravitating towards him. Yeah, that's the hard thing about, because Everett
is Everett. Yeah, do we know if Everett's going to play? That's
what we got to find out.
Yeah, that's a to be determined. If Everett's not playing, I'm fine with running some Dissly out there just for a little bit of savings, and maybe a potential red zone target or two. I don't think he's going to have a huge night, but he's going to get used enough, I feel like, to make him a viable piece in showdowns.
Yes. So if anybody does have any lineups that you want to give us, and we'll discuss, do that. So as we're wrapping things up here on the showdowns, I'll spot the Sharp app. Whoa, where am I going?
Oh my God. Oh, stand by. Up. Nope.
Oh, it's doing it itself. What is it?
All right. This episode is brought to you by the Sharp app, sharp.app. Come join us. We have a 1 week free trial for a Win Daily Gold. Just come on over, sign up. Won't cost you anything. You don't have to use your
you don't need me anymore. It's just Stoweby. You just no.
Oh my God.
No, but yes, thank you. Go to sharp.link and download the Sharp app. I don't know what the hell that was. StreamYard's going weird.
Why do we always have the technical difficulties?
No idea. So I was going to ask you, though, before we end this, who are you going with at the game? I honestly don't have a play. I will be straight up. I don't think I'm going to bet a side or a total on this one. This game's going to be weird. I think it's going to end up being a little wild, whatever way you want to take that. I think it's going to be weird. NFC West rivalry. The Rams just lost. Seattle just won. So it's, and of course against division opponents as well. It's just been really weird in the NFC West to start. So I am going no play. If I were to take anything, honestly, just Russell Wilson getting points at home kind of makes me feel okay about it. But again, it's just their defense I hate. Yeah. So the Rams could put up way too many points in this one.
I honestly, I feel pretty comfortable with the Rams tonight. There hasn't been much of a home field advantage this season when you actually math it out. It's actually been pretty neutral. So I feel pretty confident about the Rams tonight, and the defense. I like the defense a lot more than what Seattle has to offer. And like I said, I like Russ over 23.5 rushing yards. That seems pretty straightforward for me. I think his prop for his passing yard prop has gone down. No, I don't like that anymore. His prop, it was at like it was right around 280. Now it's like 264.5. I don't like that.
No, that's way too much of a jump. No.
Just take the rushing prop, take the over, and I would take the Rams.
Sounds good. That is it for us. Go to the Discord chat, by the way, if you need some help with your lineups for tonight. but a great game between the Rams and the Seahawks. WinDailySports.com. We have a Showdown article that you can check out as well. We have all the position articles up. Jason Mizrahi just posted his tight ends piece, so you can check out all the tight ends that you could be getting for week 5. And also we have quarterbacks and stacks up, wide receivers. It is all available to you at WinDailySports.com. Get a 1-week free trial of Win Daily Sports. That link is in the description below. 1-week free trial. Check us out for this weekend, and you can get us for the projection models and cheat sheets, all of that to use for NFL Sunday DFS, and a great way to just check out what we have to offer and check out whether you like that or not. And have a drink and good night, fellas. I got work tonight, but yes, I will probably after the game certainly be doing that. It's gonna be a good game.
I might have a tasty adult beverage or two.
There you go.
I've been thinking about it.
Love it. Amazing. I also love Thursday Night Showdown DFS videos that we do every Thursday. Tomorrow, noon Eastern, Jason Mizrahi and I will be giving a position-by-position breakdown for week number 5, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That is it for us tonight, though, here at Win Daily Sports.